right, welcome everybody. If you can hear me clearly, please type Y in the chat box. If you can hear me clearly, type Y in the chat box. Well, I'm on fire tonight. We've had a fantastic day. This was a great day for the company, and I know we have a lot of people that's logging in from many different companies as well, and that's perfectly okay. Favorite training to do. I haven't done this training since December. It was right before the New Year's, but so this is open to everybody. But as far as my business and company is concerned, we had a fantastic day. We had four, Kazakhstan, London, St. Louis, and LA. We had four big Super Saturdays today. All went off with a big hit. I see Joy on. I'm glad you guys made it back safely, Joy. I heard we had over 150 guests in St. Louis when it was, I don't know what, 2 degrees outside. Hey, I see Penny Kyles. Understand, and this always blows my mind. It can be in one area, it can be snow. You got to shovel your ground, and 100 people in another area where it's 76 degrees, and the meeting's only 5 minutes from your house, and people can't make it. It all comes down really to mindset, and that's what we'll be talking about tonight. Tonight is our Saturday evening live mindset training. Again, this is information that I learned years ago that have helped me become successful in every business that I've done. But I've altered this because I'm basing tonight, this is a two-part series. The regular mindset is going to take place next Saturday night. But tonight we're going to talk about how to be a professional. And there's no other time in history, especially in our industry as of right now, where it's so important. I mean, network marketing over the last maybe 14, 15 months has been very, very volatile, especially here in the United States. A lot of the industry is changing. There's a lot taking place with new businesses and new companies and new leaders. And yes, Andreas, I am recording this right now. So if you've got to take off, this is being recorded, and I'll have it posted up tomorrow. And again, this is part one for a two-part series. So it's very important that no matter what business you're in, even if it's not network marketing, you've got to be a winner. This is not the lottery mentality. And it all starts with mindset. And in mindset, the number one thing about mindset is attitude. Attitude is a little thing that makes a big difference. No, attitude is a little thing that makes all the difference in the world. Attitude is every. See, there's something that you have to understand about life. We all have the same 24 hours in a day, 7 days in a week, 365 days in a year. We all breathe the same air. We all walk on the same ground. But what sets one person apart from others, especially if two individuals go through the same exact hardship? Is it luck? Is it based on somebody where they were born? Did they have a silver spoon in their mouth? Sometimes that's more of the disadvantage than somebody who had to fight for everything in their life. But it all comes down to attitude. How do you view your situation? Two individuals can get laid off from a job. One person thinks it's the worst thing in the world. Another person is thanking the Lord for a new blessed opportunity that's about to come their way. Same circumstance happened to them because there are things in life that we cannot control. There are things that are going to happen to us in life that's outside of our control. But there is one thing that we will always have control over. Nobody can take it from you, and that is your attitude. That is your mindset. That is your mental stability. Nobody can take that from you. They can throw everything in the world at you, but they can't take your spirit. They can't take your attitude. And once you've figured that out, you will fail your way to success in everything that you do. Let's go ahead and get started with this because I'm about to get into next week's stuff. Let's talk about the new economy. So I am assuming that every single one of you have made smart decisions that you want to work for yourself and work for a home-based business. Congratulations. You have separated yourself from 97% of the population. That's a good step, Dave. But even though you separated yourself from 97% of the population, you're only halfway there. All right? At least you've made a decision and you are consciously aware that you need to do something different. However, the world as you know it has changed. For the people who don't recognize that fact, it will be the worst of times. For those who do, it will be the best of times. Over the last 100 years, an interesting phenomenon has occurred. The rise of the corporation became the standard in society. The safe and respected place for people to exist in the workplace was as an employee. Now, that was a big trend. If you know your history and you look at the the Industrial Revolution, you realize the majority of the population was self-employed before then. It was all about owning land and working your land and farming to sustain yourself. The Industrial Revolution moved people from the hills and the plains into the cities, into factories. That was a huge shift that took place. So the rise of the corporation became the standard in society. Go to school to learn how to be an employee, step one. Step two, find a company that will employ you. Step three, work for that company for 40 years. Step four, retire and live happily ever after. That is what they are still teaching in school today. They're still teaching that formula. 100 years old. Is the world the same today as it was 100 years ago? Absolutely not. Yet we are still teaching the same old ways. The reason for that. Now, this formula was perfect, not for my generation, not for my parents' generation, the baby boomers, but for my grandparents' generation, which is considered the greatest American generation, the greatest generation, the World War II, the generation that won the Great War, right? That set America on the path we are today. It worked for them. You could have one person work, the wife could stay at home, and still have enough money to buy a house, 2 cars, put all your kids through school, retire, and still live off your pension for the rest of your life. That only lasted 1 generation. All right? But they taught you teach your kids what you were taught. So they taught their kids to do the same exact thing. Let's move on. See, in recent decades, the promise of being rewarded by the company for your loyalty and hard work has been exposed as a myth. People began to realize that the loyalty they were giving to their company was not being given in return. And just to reiterate, this is not me making this stuff up. I've got this straight from the book, Go Pro by Eric Worre. I recommend you go read it. Step 1, go to school to learn how to be an employee. Okay. Step 2, find a company that will employ you. Okay. Step 3, switch companies. Various political and economic reasons every 3 to 5 years over the course of your career. Now that sounds more like reality, right? You know, the average 30-year-old has had 4 or 5 different jobs in different areas. See, my dad is the last of the breed, where straight out of high school, when he was about to go to college, he got a summer internship job and ended up staying with the same company for 43 years. He's just retiring this year. He went from washing cars to being the CEO. That is not typical, because we have thousands of people who work for that company. How many of those people ever become the CEO? Only one. That one person just happened to be my dad. That's why over the years of my network marketing career, myself and my dad always butt heads, because he couldn't see or relate to my own experience, because he never went through that. He's been employed by the same company. He's never had a different job. I had more jobs than my dad by the time I was 18 years old. That's how it is now. Step 4, Find that you can't retire comfortably after 40 years, so you keep working. You end up becoming a Walmart greeter. We had a meeting today. I don't know if Stanley is on, but Stanley at our Super Saturday shared with everybody. He said, he's 2 years away from retirement. He's 63 years old, and he just received a letter from the government stating that his Social Security is going to be $1,900 a month. $1,900 a month, and they expect him to live on that for the rest of his life. And we live in California. Come on. And he's that's the high end on Social Security. Average is really about $800 to $1,200 a month. They expect you to live on that. You end up being a Walmart greeter. But that is more of the reality. The best way not only to survive, but to thrive in the new economy is network marketing. More and more companies will choose to use network marketing because it fits the new economy. It's extremely efficient because in the new economy, word of mouth advertising continues to work better than any form of promotion. What that means to you is that you can receive all of the benefits of traditional business ownership without the typical risks. And there will be no cap on your income because network marketing companies want to make you as much money as possible. The economy is going to pay you for your performance, not your time. Are you ready for this? Here was my experience. I graduated from college December 1998. I was taught to go to school, get good grades, and get a good, safe, secure job that will take care of you the rest of your life, because that's what my dad and my parents did. But what happened to me 1 month before I graduated? I had already secured myself a job with Kraft Corporation in Georgia. I already had a job lined up for me when I graduated. I was going to be making at least $45,000 a year. Now, for a college kid coming out in 1998, that was pretty good money. Wasn't married, didn't have any kids, by myself. Living large. Only one thing happened. The person who got me the job, who hired me, his entire division was laid off 1 month before I graduated, which meant I had no job. I got fired before I even stepped foot on the premises. That was my welcome to corporate America. So needless to say, I was very open to something like network marketing. If you guys are still breathing out there, type I in the chat box. You guys are quiet. I got you captivated, or I'm putting you to sleep. So are you ready for the new economy? The new economy is based on performance, not your time. You got to be ready and prepared to perform. So we're going to talk about becoming a professional. See, if you treat this business like a hobby, you will get paid like a hobby. You must accept the temporary loss of social esteem from ignorant people. You ready for that? What does that mean? Well, you are stepping outside of the rat race. You are doing something that the majority of people won't do, which means they're not going to understand what you're doing. And what people don't understand, they shun. They turn a negative eye towards. So you must be willing to accept being cool, one of the cool kids. You're a loner at this point. Not for long, though. See, here's another thing. Most people have either joined, at this point, this stage, most people have either joined a network marketing company or know someone who has. They approach it as if they are playing the lottery and hoping to get lucky and sign up that one superstar that will make them rich. When it doesn't quit, they treated it as a hobby. See, a professional learns skills necessary to become successful in any given field. And the same goes for network marketing. Once you learn skills, then there is no luck involved. Your performance will greatly improve, which will in turn greatly improve how much you make. Become a professional. In other words, once you learn professional skills, it doesn't matter what company you're in. It doesn't matter what the compensation plan is. It doesn't matter what the product is. You're going to become successful. Somebody told me the other day that, Brandon, you can sell tires on the side of a freeway. I said, if I'm passionate about it, yes, I can. Yes, I can. Why? Not because it's got the greatest comp plan, not because it's got the greatest company. It's because I learned the skills on being a professional. Just like if you went to school to become a doctor, wouldn't you agree that there's some hospitals out better than others? Absolutely. However, if you were a doctor, don't you think your skills are going to be the same in one hospital as another? The hospital is not what makes you. The hospital is your vehicle. So you want to become a professional in this industry and this business. But let's talk about the differences here. See, there's three types of networkers. You decide for yourself which type you fall in. When I first got started, I was a poser. So you got posers, amateurs, and professionals. And if you're in any of these categories, don't be upset because you can always move to the next one if you choose to. Remember I said attitude, mindset, it's a choice, not permanent. But here's how posers think. Here's how you can identify a poser in this industry. Posers treat this profession as a lottery ticket. They're hoping to hit it big with as little effort as possible. Some posers actually do get lucky and get that big break, and they make quick money, but it never lasts, and they never learn skills on what to do if they lose it. Let me stop there for a second and show you, for example, what just happened last week in America. What was the biggest news? The Powerball, right? $500 million lottery. Everybody was running to the stores to go get lottery tickets. And do you know that whenever the Powerball or your local lottery, like California lottery, gets big, it's the one time that adults go back into dream mode? What do I mean by that? I'm going to talk about this more a little bit in detail later on. What I mean is they start thinking about what would they do in their life if they won the lottery, right? I know some of you did the same thing. It's okay. It's natural. It's human nature. Man, if I had $500 million, I'd quit job. I'd disappear for 6 months. I'd do this. I'd do this. See, we dream as kids, but we stop as adults because we think, well, I got to be real now. I have to think of reality. We stop dreaming, and that's why you're where you are. You stop manifesting what you want because your brain is you're not telling your brain what you want anymore because you have to live in reality. But when the lottery comes around, everybody's in dream mode again. Man, all I have to do is buy a ticket and I'm a multimillionaire. As easy as that, my life can change. You have a better chance of getting bit by a great white shark 7 times and then getting hit by lightning another 7 times than to ever win the lottery. and that's by getting bit by a shark in even Kansas. But somebody always wins, right? Same in network marketing. Sometimes you have that one person who does win, but like the lottery, do you realize that 70% of the people who win the lottery go broke in 10 years? Why? What's even more impressive is that most of those people say they wish they never won the lottery. And you scratch your head when you hear that. You had $150 million. What do you mean you wish you never won the lottery? Here's why. They never learned the skills necessary to earn that type of money. And as a result of having it, they didn't have the skills necessary to keep it. It's like I did a video. You can go back on YouTube, look this up. It's like having is your glass half full or half empty? If you take a cup and you fill it up with water, the cup has a limit. But if you keep filling it with water, what happens to the excess water? The cup can't hold it. It overflows and it eventually settles back to what the cup can actually hold. You are a vessel. You can only hold so much water. So wherever you are in life right now is what you can hold. That's why personal development is so important. until you get yourself a bigger cup, until you work on yourself so that you become bigger. You can't hold bigger. You're not going to be able to attract bigger. You can have things happen to you. You get more money on you, and then as quickly as it came, it's gone. And you're like, it slipped through my fingers. Why? Because you were not ready for it yet. You can't hold that much. So that's why all those lottery winners go broke. That's why the professional basketball players, football players, you can see a guy who can have $200 million of their career and they're broke 10 years after they're retired. Why? The skill they had to make that money was based on raw, natural talent, physical talent. Well, when your body can't do that anymore, there goes your money train. You didn't develop your brain. Doesn't matter how old you are, if you've got your brain, you're always going to be able to make money. So these people that win the lotto, now that they've eliminated their 9-to-5 job, which is what's keeping them occupied the most, because they're thinking about, how am I going to pay my bills? I need to do that. That's what they're thinking about the most. So they've never developed themselves personally. So now that they've eliminated what was taking 90% of their time, you're left with an open, missing shell of a person who's never dreamed and thought about what they want to do with the rest of their life. Seriously. We're going to talk about that. What would you do if money was never an option? Well, that's going to be at the end. And all the bad habits that they have that got them broke in the first place, it just multiplies 100-fold, 1,000-fold, because you've got money. Relationships ruined, families ruined, businesses ruined, and you're left more debt than you had before you had the money. Same with network marketing. You get lucky and make that money quickly. Next thing you know, that person who joined your team that made you all that money jump ship to another company and takes their entire downline with them. And what are you left with? Nothing. Unless you're a professional and you know how to rebuild. Let's move on. Posers last 30 to 60 days at most in network marketing before they quit. And when they quit, this always blows my mind. They always blame the company, the compensation plan, the upline, or the downline for their failure. Always. It's rare that I ever see somebody who has quit something turn around and say, I just didn't make it happen. I couldn't make it happen. I didn't learn the skills necessary to make it happen. I wasn't willing to go through the process of failure to make it happen. No, it's always somebody else's fault. Whenever you see, this is why, social media is funny to me all the time. You look at people on Facebook and Twitter, and when you see they're all, big up in one company and hyping it up, and then the next thing you know, they're tearing it down because they joined a new company and they're trying to recruit for their new company, so they got to talk bad about the old one. I wasn't making any money. Company didn't do this. It didn't do that. My upline didn't help me. They promised spillover. I didn't get spillover. But I got a new deal now. Those are posers. Posers also would rather join another company that is promising an easier or faster way to riches. So instead of working harder and learning skills, they jump ship. I'll give you an example. See, when I first joined this industry, it was before social media. We didn't have Facebook. We didn't have MySpace, and MySpace is old now. We didn't have Twitter. We didn't have YouTube. So we weren't exposed to other companies. We didn't know there were other companies out there. So when things were going bad in your company, you had two choices to make. One choice is to quit and go back to your job. The other choice is to put your head down, learn better skills, work through the obstacles, and become a better person on the other side, even if that took 2 to 3 years to do so. Today, a person has 100 options. They have those first 2 options, but they've already been exposed to network marketing, so they're not going back to a job. So option 1 is out. Option 2 of put your head down, grind it out through the good and bad. Oh, that's too much work, because it's much easier to join your buddy who's posting about some new hype deal that's promising to do things, and it's going to be easier. The grass is greener somewhere else, so they jump ship, not realizing that I don't care what company out there, every single company has its issues. They're just different than the one you came from. Every company. There's no such thing as a perfect company. In fact, if you show me the so-called perfect company, I'll show you somebody broke. You show me the so-called worst company, I'll show you somebody making six figures. Has nothing to do with any of that. But that's what the posers look at. Oh, it's going to be easier over there. I saw posted they made $5,000 in 30 days. I haven't made $5,000 all year. I'm going to go jump ship. And what happens is you always keep jumping ship. You're never fully satisfied. It's almost addicting. It's almost like gambling. You know, you have gambling addicts. There are network marketing junkie addicts out there. They love the rush of the initial startup, of the excitement and the feel of just getting started. Guys, I'm going to use you men as an example, because women like to say men are pigs, right? Guys who see their girlfriend for the very first time. She's the new shiny object. She's sexy, got all that sex appeal, right? You're excited. You're dating her. It's all brand new and fresh. You can't wait to see her again. Then the newness starts to wear off. It's not so much exciting anymore. You're starting to see her real habits. She's not looking as sexy to you as anymore. It's not brand new anymore. Then some arguments may start to happen. You know, that's how relationships are. And then all of a sudden you say, well, why am I here? This is hard. And you see a new girl walking down the street with a new pretty skirt on. Oh, I'm going to go jump on over there because that's new and exciting and shiny. You love that experience. It's like women who love the relationships all the way to planning the weddings. And then after the wedding is over, it's like, oh, wow, you know, we're in reality now. I want to do the wedding all over again. Let me go find somebody new. Like a junkie. And this is the majority of network marketers. I'm telling you right now. See, one thing you'll learn from me, I keep it real. I am not about hype. I tell it like it is. The majority of network marketers out there are junkies and they're posers. So you want to elevate yourself to the next level. Again, it's not bad. I'm not saying you are a bad person if you are a poser. No. That's just the level you're at right now. It's just like there's a difference between being broke and poor. This is a whole nother training I can do. See, poor is eternal. Poor is never changing. Poor is generational. When Katrina hit, it dredged up the poor community, not the broke community. The community that's been on welfare for 3 and 4 generations, because that's all they know. See, broke is a temporary situation. That's just your status right now. That's not where you're going to be tomorrow, because you have the ability to change your broke status. Most millionaires that are self-made millionaires were all broke before and filed for bankruptcy once or twice. So it's okay if you're broke, as long as you're making decisions so that you won't be broke tomorrow. Right? So if you're a poser, that's okay. As long as you make the decision to decide, I'm not going to be a poser tomorrow. You're going to move up to the amateur level, the amateur section. And here's how you can tell an amateur. The amateurs focus on getting lucky. Getting lucky. They hear of stories of people who had their entire lives changed with that one sign up. They spend all their time focusing on that one big hit. I see this time and time again. In fact, this used to be me. I remember when I first joined network marketing, and I remember meeting a guy named Darren Elijah who did the presentation that I first saw. He was the second highest position of the company. But there was somebody that he sponsored that hit the highest position. And because of her alone, he was making 5 figures a month off of one person. And I'm like, man, if I just get that one person on, how many of you would love to be the sponsor of Brandon Ivey? Think about that. If I could just get that one person. My life is done. My last company I was in, my sponsor was making about, I don't know, $8,000 a month off of me alone. He could go do whatever he wanted and was still going to make $8 grand a month off of me alone. That's not typical, but it happens. But here's also what I learned. It doesn't last for those individuals. One thing I learned about being a professional is the most important person you're going to recruit is you. You are the superstar on your team. You are the most person you can rely on your team. Because if you're not, and the superstar you're relying on decides to take a deal and jump ship somewhere else, what happens to your income? But you become the superstar, and another superstar on your team decides to jump ship, take a deal, and take their entire downline with them, and then talk bad about yours, you can always rebuild and create new superstars. But I'm talking about professionals. We're still on amateurs now. So amateurs spend their entire time focusing on trying to get that one big hit. The second thing amateurs focus on is timing. Did I get in early enough? How many leaders are in my market? Did I miss the growth curve? Is the market saturated? To a professional, none of that matters. Because we create the growth curve. Network marketing will never be saturated. Never. Amway has been around for 50 years, doing over $11 billion a year, and they're still generating millionaires today. I was reading a story about a woman in Mexico. She's only been in Amway for 2 years, and she's the newest millionaire out there. Join Amway 48 years later. The market will never be saturated. A lot of times people just don't realize how many people are out there in the world. Millions of people a year are joining network marketing for the very first time. It will never be saturated. The third thing that amateurs focus on is positioning. Am I in the right organization? Are others better positioned than me? Do I have a good upline? Will I do better in another team? And it's okay, at the beginning when you're brand new, it is very important to be a part of a good team with good upline support and to be positioned well. There's nothing wrong with that, but that's not the most important thing for your business. That is not what's going to determine your success long term. It may determine your success short term. This is very relevant. So you need to decide which part are you looking for. I'm not looking for get rich quick. I was telling someone else on my journey and what I'm doing right now, I could have joined a get rich quick company and made $1 million over the past year and a half. But then it would have been gone. Company would have went out of business. And I'd have to start all over again with a ruined reputation. It's not what I'm looking for. I want long term. If that means I got to grow as a snail, then I'm going to grow as a snail. Because I'm 38 years old. If it takes me 10 years, at 48, I'm a millionaire. That's far better than being on a 9-to-5 job and retire at 65 broke. That's far better than being a company hopper or keep jumping for the quick deals and the companies keep getting closed down on me. And next thing I know, I have nobody that's going to follow me anymore. Long term. The fourth thing amateurs focus on, let's talk about upline as well. Understand this. As important as an upline is, the upline is not going to determine your success. In my own personal experience, my upline has always been a hindrance to me. They have always either been in the way, caused problems, always been a problem for me. When I join a company and if I have an upline, I tell them, okay, thank you for showing me this business. Now move out of my way and let me do my thing. Just go cash your checks. Go sit in the corner. Go build your business. I got this. That's what a professional does. You are the CEO. Only thing you need to be looking at is from you down. Don't need to worry about what's going on above you. Your upline is not, anything that upline does is a bonus. That's how you need to look at it. They're a bonus. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, you are starting your own business. not a hobby. This is your business. You are the CEO of your business. The fourth thing amateurs focus on is shortcuts. The internet tools can do all the work for me. Every time a new shiny approach to business is advertised, amateurs are always all over it and easily distracted. This almost happened to me. When I came back to network marketing, yes, I say back because I did quit. I did quit, one of the biggest mistakes I ever made. Got sidetracked by life, got married, had a kid, had to make some money, feed my family, wasn't making enough money in network marketing, got all frustrated, and I quit. When I decided to come back after being laid off twice again, I said, I want to do this, there must be an easier way. That was a bad thing for me to say. The good thing that I said was, I want to take advantage and learn more marketing skills, like any good business person would do, no matter what business you have. You got to market your business. No matter what you do, you're marketing. Colleges market themselves. Professional teams market themselves. Women who want a good man market themselves. You gotta learn marketing skills. So I said I want to learn how to use the internet because I don't have a warm market anymore. I don't have friends and family. And again, like I said, I keep it real. I'm not about that. You join a company, write down a list of names of 200 people you know. Yeah, you can go ahead and do that. But none of those people are going to make you a millionaire. You use them to practice on. If your friends and family was going to make you a millionaire, you would already be a millionaire. Remember that. That was a big lesson I learned. Use them to practice on. Whatever they have to say is irrelevant. You buy their opinion, you buy their lifestyle. You got to learn marketing skills. Stuff they don't really teach you in college. So I joined what's called an affiliate called MLSP, which is My Lead System Pro. And this was they had video series and training that taught you the importance of making videos, how to have a capture page, how to have an autoresponder, how to maybe set up blogs, all this stuff I never heard of before. I consider myself technologically challenged when it comes to the internet. I'm far better today than I was, 6 years ago. But I said, I need to learn this stuff. But here was the twist. Then I said, hey, if you tell others about this program, you can make some extra money on the side. So if you tell your downline how to use these tools to help them build their primary business, you're going to make some extra money on the side from them using the tools that you told them to use. It's ingenious how they came up with it. Think back to the gold rush. Do you know who made the most money during the gold rush? It wasn't the people who were actually mining for gold. It was the people who were selling them the picks, axes, and shovels to help them mine for gold. Nothing wrong with that. But here's what the trap. The affiliate new tool company, people started promoting that more than they would their own primary company because they were making money off of it real quick. So now everybody's focused on, we got to sell the tools to our downlines than actually building your business. It's a reason why I had joined Empower Network early on. Great company, great product, great culture in the leadership. But here was my problem, the message. The message was, use this company to build your blog to help build your business. And I quickly realized that nobody was actually promoting their primary company. All they talked about was Empower Network, join Empower Network. And as a result, people started making more money in Empower Network than they were their primary business. So what do you think happened to those downlines? Nobody promoted their business. It's all about Empower Network. Now you're promoting tools to other people to use tools to market absolutely nothing. So if you use these internet tools, use them to learn the skills, not to try to make a quick buck on the side. That's the trap. And amateurs fall for that every time, because here's one thing you also learn. The tool company you're part of now, somebody's going to create another tool company better than the one you're using. So you're always jumping to the newest, latest, greatest thing and spinning your wheels and having no success in the purpose of why you joined in the first place, to build your business. And you're going to be jumping, 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 jumping. That's a trap. Amateurs fall for that all the time because they're looking for the shortcut. It amazes me that people will spend 20 years of their lives working a job and so to get what they have now, and then join a home-based business and think it's 2 to 3 years is too long to become financially free. It blows my mind. What you have today is a result of all the decisions you've made in your life up and into this point, including things that were outside of your control. But you join a network marketing company and expect your life to change in 60 days because you saw somebody with a video sitting in front of cars and houses and flashing money. Got to be realistic. This is not the lottery. There are no shortcuts. None. I had a gentleman when my last company merged into the one I'm with now, and they quit and jumped ship on something else and told me that I was going to fail, that I was going to lose all my team. Guess what? I did lose all my team. I did. Did I have a nervous breakdown, jump ship, and try to take a deal somewhere else? No, I put my head down and started all over again. Now here we are a year and a half later. I have an organization worldwide, and they're in their third or fourth company, and 2 of them already got shut down. You cannot be an amateur being distracted. You have to be focused. Let's talk about professionals. A professional is a person who is an expert at the skills required to build a large and successful network marketing organization. A professional starts focusing on the skills and made a commitment to practice, practice, practice until the skill is mastered. A professional does not focus on luck, timing, positioning, and shortcuts. I had an interview, Jonathan Puga's on right now, and I shared this story with him on his radio show the other day. And it was how I had my first big break. And this was years ago. I don't remember if it was 2010 or 2011, but I had just was setting up my team. It wasn't Power Team Marketing back then. It was CEOs Unlimited. And I was starting to have Saturday morning presentations. And it was requested on this morning that I do one for 9 a.m. because it was 9 a.m. on the East Coast time. It was 6 a.m. my time. And I had to get up early on a Saturday morning at 6 a.m. I was still working a job back then. So don't think I didn't cherish my Saturday morning to try to sleep in until my kids woke me up. But I got up at 6 a.m. to do the presentation. And I logged on, and guess what? I was the only one on the line. So I'm sitting there listening to the music. You know, if you guys have ever have your own conference line, music plays until somebody else logs on. And I was thinking to myself, well, you know, maybe I'll just hang up and go back to sleep. Nobody will know. We'll do it again next week. And then something in the back of my mind said, wait a minute. I think I don't know if it was a Les Brown video. No, I think it was Jim Rohn that I just watched the night before. And he talked about how you sow seeds and how you have to water the seeds and water it even when you don't see anything growing. You have to continue to do so. You have to be consistent. What matters is, are you able to do the things when nobody can see you doing it? Doing the right things. That's when champions are made. When people don't see you and you're still doing what you're supposed to do. So I said, you know what? I'm going to do the presentation anyway, and at least I'll get some good practice in because I wanted to be the best at what I did. I want to become a professional. So let me get some practice in. It's a good time to practice. I'm already up. So I called in on the other line so that there wouldn't be any music playing. So it's 2 people on, me and myself. And I start doing the presentation. Now, I don't just walk through the presentation. I act like there's 100 people listening to me. I act like I'm on stage. And thousands of people are watching me. So I have the same enthusiasm with just me on the line as I would if there was 100 people. And I'm doing it, and 10 minutes in, I hear this beep. Somebody logged in. I didn't think nothing of it. I thought it was just one of my team members who's logging on late. You know how you guys can't be on time? I just thought it was somebody being late. And I kept on going. And at the end of the presentation, I thanked everybody for showing up, even though I thought it was only me and somebody else on. And I hung up and I went back to sleep. The very next day, I see in my back office somebody joined. I didn't know this person, never spoke to this person. Then I get a phone call later. Hey, Brandon, you don't know me, but I was on your presentation yesterday. Man, I never saw anything like that. I apologize for getting on late, but I love what I saw, and I found your link and I signed up. And I'm having problems where I am, and I'm bringing my team with me. I'm gonna have 200 people in 30 days. He had 300 people in 30 days. Now, what if I did not do that presentation? He would have logged on 10 minutes later and nobody would have been there. I would have never known he logged in. I would have went on with my life and missed 300 people in my team within 30 days. That was a lesson that sticks to me now. I don't care. I had some of my leaders say, well, Brandon, there was only 8 people on last night. So, to me, it's 800. All it takes is one person to change everything for you. And I learned to be consistent, even when I don't see the results. You keep plugging away anyway. Here's something else. Professional athletes will devote endless hours to preparing for competition. But when they join network marketing, they won't give one day's worth of effort to learning our skills. Doctors will devote a decade of their lives at huge financial expense to become physicians. But when they join network marketing, they won't give a month's study and practice to become a network marketing pro. See, you want to know how I'm able to weed people out? I've been in this industry long enough where I can tell immediately who's going to be a success and how long it will take them. I can tell immediately. Here's how. I always send a welcome email out to every new person that I sign up with step-by-step instructions on what you need to do to become successful. The reason why most people fail is because they fail to even start. They don't follow directions. They don't follow the system. And I start getting phone calls asking 1,000,001 questions where I've already made videos walking you through this process. See, the reason why a system is so important is that one day you're going to have thousands of people on your team. You only have 24 hours in a day. You cannot be on the phone 24/7, and that defeats the purpose of having a home-based business. Having a home-based business is to have more time, not less time. You don't trade in 8 hours a day on your job to be doing 24 hours in your business. You just defeated the purpose. So the system is designed so that every single person has access to the top information. And I can tell when a new person doesn't want to follow the directions. I already know this is going to be an uphill battle. They can still be successful if they're willing to change, if they're willing to learn and be coachable. I can tell that right off the bat. You know what I do before I call my sponsor and ask him questions, outside of being excited, I click on every single link on the home website. I want to know what everything's doing. I stay up to 3 a.m. in the morning watching all the videos that I can possibly watch. Sometimes I'm a little slow on the compensation plan, and it takes me maybe 2 to 3 months to learn it. But I would have made 5 figures by then. And I learn as I go. That's just not everybody's wired that way, and that's okay. But at least be willing to put the time in. You were willing to go to school to get the job. You were willing to put the work in to become an athlete. Same thing applies here. That's why, at the top of our industry, it's a very, very short list of professionals up there. Because most people aren't willing to do what they've done to get there. It's not that they're special. It's not that they're better than you. It's not that they're better speakers than you. It blows my mind sometimes. I see some people that are 7-figure earners, and they can't put 2 cents together, 2 sentences together. You would never want them in front of the room doing a presentation. You're like, how in the world do they make so much money? They follow the system. They let the system do all the work. All they did was expose people to their business. Know your why, and this is where we're going to end, because this is also the beginning of part 2, which we're going to do next week. So I'm going to end this where we're going to begin next week. This is probably what I'm going to teach you right now is more important than everything that I've already said tonight. And those of you who have been on my trainings understand why. I always say focus on the goal and not the task. But know your why. Why are you doing what you're doing? I haven't messed with people doing this in a while. The one thing I used to do back in the day was I asked the person, why are you working a 9-to-5 job? And I always get this dumb look, right? What do you mean, why? I have bills I need to pay, man. Gotta make some money. Yeah, but I'm not making that much money. You're miserable on your job. You dread going there. They're not even paying you enough money to pay all your bills. And most people are one paycheck away from being on the street. So why are you doing it? They have no idea. It's because they were trained to. When we're born, we're taught to go to elementary school for a certain amount of hours. When we get to junior high and high school, we're doing the same thing, 8 to 3. We go to college, doing the same thing. When we graduate from college, we go to a job, we're doing the same exact thing, 8 to 5 with a lunch break. And most people are miserable at that. But they don't know any better because that's all they've been taught. They haven't even thought that there might be an alternative. There's an alternative to this? Really? How's that work? That's why most millionaires and billionaires don't even have a college degree. They have more education than everybody else, called street knowledge. How the world really works. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to give you an assignment. It's a task that if you consistently do this, it's going to change your life. I'm going to put you in dream mode again, like winning the lottery, so that you don't have to wait till the next Powerball comes around to start dreaming again. How you're going to do this every day, 2 or 3 times a day. So I know it's getting late on the East Coast, going on 11 p.m. on the East Coast. So people are about to go to sleep, so this is perfect. See, you have to understand, and I hope I don't lose you here. I won't go into details. But there is something called the law of the universe. There is a law. There is a secret. And it's not hidden. It's not special knowledge. Everybody has access to this secret. First, you must figure out why you're doing what you're doing. We're going to trick your brain here. This is a brain assignment. And your why is not, I want to spend more time with my family. I want to have college education for children. I want to buy a new home. I want to be debt-free, family vacation. All that is good, but that is not your why. That is not what's really going to make you happy. Money is not the end game. Money is just resources. It allows you to do more. That's all. It doesn't make you a better person. It's just resources. It's energy. The more energy you have, the more you're able to do. So this stuff isn't enough. That's what every generic trainer is going to teach you. Oh, you want to spend more time with your family? Okay, that's obvious. But here's what you're going to do. I want you to pretend like you have all the money in the world. And with this money, you have already bought your dream homes. You have already bought all your cars and your toys. You have already taken all the vacations you want to take. You have already tithed to the church as much as you possibly can. You have enough money for retirement for the next 300 years. Of course, you're debt-free. You've been on your shopping sprees. A year later, you wake up at 11 because that's when you were finished sleeping on a Monday morning. And you think about, what am I going to do today? You've already bought everything that you could possibly think of buying. And you have more money in the bank than you had before you went on your spending spree. What? would you do with your life? Think about that. 99% of people have never, ever thought on this level. Wow, not only if I had all the money in the world, but I've already bought everything that I want to buy. Well, life doesn't end there. The sun's still going to rise tomorrow. What are you going to do with your day? What are you going to do with your time? Now that you have all the time in the world to do whatever you want, God has given you a talent. Now you can expose it because you were never able to do it before because you felt it wasn't going to bring you enough money to survive. You had to put that talent aside and work your 9-to-5 job. Now, what are you passionate about? What makes you happy? That is your why. Because that is touching your core being, your purpose. And then here's the next step. I want you to pretend like you already have it. You're tricking your brain here. See, your brain does not have eyeballs. Your brain does not see reality. Your brain interprets your reality. You can have two men standing side by side, looking at the same exact event, and one man is telling his brain one thing, and the other man is telling his brain another. They're interpreting the same event two different ways. You have power over your brain, not the other way around. So you pretend like you already have it. I'm going to take it a step further because that's still not enough. People say, well, your why should be whatever makes you cry. No, that's the worst thing to say. You want to know why? Everybody cries about something. Everybody. And if crying was enough, then everybody would have everything they wanted in life if crying was enough, if crying was a motivator. No, crying is not a motivator. Crying is an emotional release, an emotional response, not an emotional motivator for most people. It's not enough. So once you pretend like you already have it, here's the most important piece of the puzzle. How does it make you feel? We'll pause on that for a second. See, people wish for things all day long. You can wish all day long. But how does it make you feel to have it? Have you ever gone into a car dealership and you're gone in there, with one budget and one thing in mind of what car you want to drive, but the salesman takes you on into the showroom, right? Because he's got to fill out some paperwork and walks you past a nice convertible. And then says, hey, you know what? While I go talk to boss, why don't you just sit in this car for a moment? And then leaves you with the car. Hey, well, it's not every day I get to sit in a expensive convertible car. Here's my chance to do so. Let me go ahead and sit in it. So you open the door and you sit in the car, put your hands on the steering wheel, the top's down, you start pretending like you're going down PCH, that's Pacific Coast Highway here in California, with the beach on your side, the wind blowing through your hair, everybody looking at you like you're the $1,000,000. You must be a Hollywood star. You must be famous. And all the while you're sitting there, the salesman is around the corner looking at you like, uh-huh. You start to smile because you feel good in that car, huh? When you put on the suit, don't you feel good when you put on the suit? Ladies, when you buy those new pair of shoes, how does it make you feel when you put them on? How does it make you feel when you put that dress on? Feel like $1,000,000, right? Capture the feeling of having what you want to have and pretend like you already have it, because your brain does not know that you don't have it. Your brain thinks that you do have it. And now that you're vibrating on that level, your brain is sending out shock waves to the universe. And like a magnet, you start to attracting whatever you're thinking and feeling. See, most people are feeling bad all the time. That's why they're always attracting bad things to them. Why don't you start feeling good most of the time and start attracting more good to you? I'll give you another example. This one's for the ladies. Have you ever had a friend, or it might be you, who has been in a bad relationship with a man? Not only were you in a bad relationship, it seems that every time you date a man, he does the same things the last man did. He seems to be the same person with a different name over and over and over again. And finally, your friends are like, man, you know what? You're always in a bad relationship. Maybe it's you. See, people never think about that. It's always somebody else's fault. Never me. Oh, no, I'm perfect. But she says, I'm going to go to a therapist. She goes to a therapist or psychologist. Says, I'm always in bad relationships with men. I don't understand why. So the therapist says, okay, let's do a little scenario here. Why don't you tell me what it is that you want in a man? So she sits back. Oh, that's easy. I don't want a man who stays out late and goes drinking with the boys. I don't want a man who doesn't have a job. I don't want a man who does drugs. I don't want a man who cheats on me. I don't want a man who's always in the strip club. I don't want a man who would rather spend more with his friends than me. I don't want a man who's physically and verbally abusive to me. I don't want a man who will disrespect me in front of my children. I don't want a man who's always making me cry. Let's stop right there for a moment. That sounds right. That sounds logical, right? Who in the world wants a man like that? And the therapist says, interesting. You didn't answer my question. What are you talking about? Yes, I did. No, I asked, what do you want in a man? And you told me what you don't want. That's what you're thinking about all the time. How does that make you feel? Horrible. Because that's all she's thinking about. Oh, he's going to beat me tonight. Oh, he's going to be verbally abusive. Oh, he's going to cheat on me. Blah, blah, blah. That's all you're thinking. And what do you think you're attracting to you? Men who are going to make you feel that way. Your brain is only going to do what you tell it to do, how you feel. Because you're getting orders. Oh, I'm supposed to feel bad. Okay, let's make sure we do things today that makes us feel bad. It's like a cycle. So she says, tell me what you want. Oh, okay, well, I want a man who can support a family. I want a man who's ambitious. I want a man who's going to love me. I want a man who cherishes me and wants to spend time with me. I want a man who makes me smile. I want a man who makes my heart skip a beat. I want a man who supports me in my endeavors. Great. Now, how does that make you feel to have a man like that? Well, I feel wonderful. So great. Great. Hold that thought. Now you're going to start attracting men like that. Some of you may not get that until you go home. You're funny. Same way in your business and your life. What do you want? And how does it make you feel if you already had it? See, I grew up. I'm a Christian. I have no problem saying so. So if it offends anybody, I don't apologize. And my mom, when I would be sick, my mom would say, well, thank the Lord for healing you. All right, Mom, when I get better, I'll thank the Lord for healing you. No, 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 no. You must thank him now for the blessings to come. What? I'm a realist. I'm a kid. What are you talking about, Mom? I will thank God when he heals me. How am I going to thank God and I'm not even healed? I feel horrible. See, all of this, you guys think this new age stuff with law of the universe and stuff, that's not new age. It's biblical. There's just scientific reasons behind it that's proven it to be true. The Bible talks about it all day long. Have faith. You must have belief, and it shall come to pass. It's reality. That's true. You must believe it before it can happen. I didn't get that for a very long time. I was like, Mom, that makes no sense. Heal me and I'll be thankful. No, you need to be thankful before you're healed. You need to be thankful for what you have so that the bless. See, here's what happens with the body, if you need to know a scientific reason why. If you believe you're already better, that you're going to be better, your brain will send cues to the rest of the body to start releasing whatever endorphins or whatever chemicals in your body to aid in the healing process. So you're going to heal much faster than normal. And that's not new age healing. That's old school healing before doctors and medicine and all this stuff came to mess things up. That's natural. It's a fact. So you're tricking your brain before you go to sleep. So when you go to sleep, consciously, you're asleep. But subconsciously, your brain is still wide awake. That's why it's very important you watch what you feed your brain before you go to bed, because you're not giving your brain 8 hours if you sleep 8 hours a night. 8 hours of uninterrupted, with no distractions, of constantly replaying in your brain the last messages you gave it. So you wake up in the morning feeling, oh man, I got to go to work. Oh man, how am I going to pay that bill again? I feel horrible. So the rest of your day, you're going to retract that stuff to you. But if you trick your brain before you go to sleep to think, oh wow, I'm a multimillionaire, I have everything I want, and it feels awesome, now you have 8 hours of your brain working on ways to keep this going, keep this a reality. So now you're going to all of a sudden start attracting things in your life that you never saw happen before. That's what happens. When I finally let go, because I am going to end by playing the video called Focus on the Goal, Not the Task. When I finally figured this out, then all of a sudden things started happening in my life that I had no clue was going to happen. I'll give you an example from my current business. The people in a certain downline all quit, and after it, somebody from Japan joined and blew up. All the 20 people above all missed out because they quit. I didn't quit. Things just start happening that you have no idea where it's going to come from or how. You don't focus on that. You just be thankful that it's going to come to you and focus on what you want and start working towards making that a reality. It's not that you focus on you want and you sit on your couch and do nothing. Oh, no, no, no. You got to get out there and do the work. But all of a sudden, things are going to start working in your favor. And other outsiders are going to look at, oh, he's lucky. They're just lucky. Good things always happen to them. How come it's not happening to me? I'm doing the same exact thing he's doing. Why is it happening for him and not me? That's no fair. What is that guy thinking and believing that you're not? Or that lady? I love the story. Here's something that you should watch if you have not done it. The Men Who Built America, talking about Carnegie, Ford, Vanderbilt, the turn of the century billionaires. And when I say billionaires, I'm not talking Bill Gates money. I'm not talking Carlos Slim 70, $80 billion money. I'm talking 300, 400 billion dollars in today's money they were worth. You think you might want to learn what they did, how they thought, and how they acted? A lot of it wasn't legal. That was before regulation. But I love two things. One thing Henry Ford said, if I were to lose all my money today, the first thing I would do is go hang out, will help wealthy people hang out and just soak in their energy. Another thing is that people think about Thomas Edison as one of the greatest inventors, right? But did you know Thomas Edison was employed at a time, and there was another employee that had far more talent than Thomas Edison had, yet went on to live a normal, regular life. And Thomas Edison became Thomas Edison. What was the difference? Mindset. Mindset, it doesn't matter what your talents are. It doesn't matter what advantage you think you may have over somewhere else. It's all about the mindset. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you guys for being on this part 1 of the Mindset series. Part 2, which is my most important and I have the most fun doing, will be next Saturday. And I only do these once every 2 or 3 months or so. And it is the most important. I know last week we talked about grand openings and the scripts on how to get customers and scripts on how to sign people up in the business. You can do all of those things right and have no success because you're missing the ingredients to put gas in your car. It's like having a Lamborghini in front of your yard and it has no gas in the tank. It just looks pretty, but it's not going anywhere. Or you're spinning your wheels in quicksand. You need the fuel. What I'm teaching you now is the fuel to maximize the results of you doing the things you're supposed to do. Most people miss this stuff. It took me 10 years to figure it out. And my business career has never been the same ever since. And people say, are you doing anything different? No, I'm doing the same exact things today that I was doing before I was having success. It's just the light bulb went off in my head. Focus on the goal and not the task. And that is the title of this video. So thank you guys for joining us tonight. This is information where it doesn't matter what business or company you're in, it's going to be useful for you. And more importantly, this is not my information. This is not stuff that I made up. This is stuff that I was taught and that I learned from reading and watching other successful people. Success leaves clues. And you'll find once you start looking at people that talk, they all do the same thing. Even people who don't even know each other, they're following the same formula. I'm giving you the formula to implement. And it's a law of numbers. 97% of the people won't. But the 3% of you who will are the ones who become the millionaires. And not necessarily millionaires, you're going to live the quality of life that you desire. You don't need to be a millionaire to live that type of life. If you know what it is that you want in the first place. Remember, it's all about resources. The universe will grant you the resources to live the type of life you want to live. For some, it's buying an island. For others, having a nice little plot on a couple of acres of land in the Midwest. And you can live like a king like that. Everybody's different. Everybody's desire is different. A millionaire doesn't mean you made it. I know people who made $10 million a year that's happier than people who make $100 million a year. So money is irrelevant. Quality of life is what's important. So with that, thank you guys for joining us tonight. Here is the video. Focus on the goal and not the task. And I'll see you all next time. Those of you in our business, tomorrow we have a webinar with Diamond Chuck Williams at 9 p.m. Eastern. We have our team call at 8 p.m. Eastern. And then we start another week to end this month out strong. This is the shortest month of the year, but we're already 40% ahead of last month. And last month was our biggest month on record. While everybody else around you may be swallowing or drowning around you, you stay focused with the blinders on and keep moving forward. Here's the video. God bless. Until next time. Bye-bye.